What's up, you guys, and welcome to the lounge. Once again, I'm here hanging out with my buddy right there.
Hey, what up?
Mr. Buck Wild.
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to share something with you guys real quick because it is kind of, well, it is in the news. This whole deal with this guy, I can't even pronounce his name. Can you pronounce his name, the guy that ended up getting murdered over there in the reporter? I can't pronounce his name.
I would have to look at it to enunciate it again.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take you guys and let you watch. I've got two reports, and then we're going to let you watch that. And then after that, we'll come back, and I'm going to give my opinion on it. To start with, I'm just going to say this for now. If you've got deep pockets, anything is possible.
Turkish officials have reportedly obtained recordings proving how Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed. The Post reports American officials are aware of the audio and video footage. It's purported to show a Saudi security team killing Khashoggi and inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Now, some senators want to block the sale of U.S. weapons to Saudi Arabia. President Trump rejected that move yesterday.
As to whether or not we should stop $110 billion from being spent in this country, knowing they have 4 or 5 alternatives, 2 very good alternatives, that would not be acceptable to me.
CBS News State Department reporter Kylie Atwood joins us now from Washington. Kylie, so Turkish intelligence says they have proof of a Saudi security team that killed Jamal Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, but the president has yet to directly blame Saudi Arabia for Khashoggi's disappearance. It is striking that the president, during those comments that he made in the Oval Office, talked about the arms deal that some senators are now trying to block as a rationale as to why he doesn't want to rock the boat. In other words, American values for American dollars seems to be American dollars wins out in the president's mind, at least as of right now.
Yeah, and critics would say that the president is already taking some pressure off of the kingdom in Saudi Arabia, saying that even if they did do this, we're still going to continue doing business with them. Senators on the Hill think that this should be a reason to stop those commitments that we have made to Saudi Arabia. It's $110 billion that the Saudis are buying in terms of U.S. military equipment. So that is a lot of money, and the president is arguing, listen, I don't want to jeopardize the business that's happening between the U.S. companies and Saudi Arabia because other countries are going to come in and fill that void, like China and Russia. But at this point, the question is, well, if it is proven that Saudi Arabia is to fault, did actually murder Jamal Khashoggi, shouldn't this commitment, this military agreement, this sale be in jeopardy? And that's what senators are arguing. But the White House has yet to say that that would be the case.
Well, U.S. lawmakers are not falling in line. They, in fact, have come out forcefully on this subject. Senators Bob Corker, Chris Murphy, and Cory Gardner had harsh words for Saudi Arabia. Here's some of what they said yesterday.
If they killed this journalist, the relationship will be severely altered and will change much of the dynamic, candidly, as to how we're going about things in the Middle East.
This is an extraordinary case of a U.S. resident being kidnapped and likely murdered by a U.S. ally. President Trump's unwillingness to set out any consequences or even a threat of consequences essentially tells the Saudis that we're okay with this kind of conduct and behavior.
I think it's a pretty glaring red line that we're about to see. You have people on one side of this line, like Vladimir Putin, who has killed people around the globe. We need to know whether or not this instance falls on what side of that line.
Kylie, the president went out of his way to assert that Khashoggi was not a U.S. citizen. So put this into perspective. How serious an offense would this be if the Saudis were responsible? And also help us understand this disconnect between the president and members of the Foreign Relations Committee.
Yeah, so it's really a disconnect in terms of how they want to approach this situation. The Trump administration is saying we need to get the facts here. Yes, the Turks say that they have evidence, and as you read earlier, the Washington Post is reporting that they have both video and audio of this murder happening. But the U.S. does not yet claim that they believe that that is the case. They haven't seen everything lined up that completely proves the allegations that the Turks are making here. So yesterday, the State Department said, whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not let all of these rumors dominate the conversation before we talk about the repercussions that the Saudis will potentially see. On the other side of the coin, you have senators on the Hill saying, let's put the threats out there ahead of what we know happened so that the Saudis know that they can't do this, that they can't kill journalists who say bad things about the leadership in Saudi Arabia and get away with it. So you have two different kind of tactics here, and we're going to have to see if the White House gets ahead and starts putting out any threats before a conclusion is come to in this investigation.
And, you know, it's a good point. I mean, this is bipartisan. These are Republicans and Democrats that are saying maybe we should put this deal on hold. And a couple of things about that deal. The president yesterday talking about it as if it's an accomplishment of his administration. That deal, at least the handshake to sell these weapons, was done under the Obama administration. There is no formal agreement in place, as far as I understand. It's just a memorandum of intent to do so. That wouldn't happen for many months, if not years, into the future. And to my thinking, if you're supposedly the world's greatest negotiator, and I am not, wouldn't you use that as leverage to ask the Saudis what is going on? And I guess it's difficult, Kylie. As you know, the president's first trip abroad was to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it was. I would also point out, however, that there are other tactics that the administration can use. It has at its disposal to try and push back against Saudi Arabia. So one of the things that they could potentially do would be to sanction individuals who directed this possible killing of Jamal Khashoggi or were even aware of that. And that could include the Crown Prince himself. So that is something that there's an investigation that the Hill has asked the administration to go through to determine who knew about this and when they knew about it, so that if there are possible links to the Crown Prince, he would be sanctioned himself. But we haven't heard the White House come out and publicly talk about that, which is really important. They are not thrusting a tough line ahead of any findings that are certain yet.
All right. Kylie Atwood, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, so there you go, guys. That's the news report. And I went ahead and put them both together. I was going to show one and then talk a little bit and then show the other. But let's just talk about this for a minute, Buck. And what is your take on this? Do you see any repercussions coming from this? Because I don't.
There's not going to be any repercussions from this at all, because there's billions of dollars at stake in oil from Saudi Arabia to the United States. So this will be swept under the rug, and you won't hear no more about it.
And let me ask you, how do you, as an American living in the United States, how do you feel about that? What do you think that says about us, if anything?
Well, I think it's what it says about the current Trump administration, that it is all about the almighty dollar and nothing else.
I agree. And so that's what I was going to get at myself, was this doesn't really say the United States, look, we are horrible because we did this, because obviously
the
there's
United States did not do this.
No.
We're just not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, we didn't do it, and we're not going to step in and do anything about it.
And I think something else that you have to understand, Jamal Khashoggi wrote a lot of things about Saudi Arabia that were in a negative tone, and this is what basically pissed the Saudi government off.
Yeah, he said a lot of bad things about the prince.
Yes.
And unfortunately right now I don't have any news stuff on that, but I'll tell you what, guys, if you want us to keep up on this story, let us know. Put your comments below, and by all means, we'll try to keep up on this and update you as far as what did go on with the prince and this. I can't say his name. Jamal Khashoggi, yeah. You know, because evidently there were some things said that Jamal did that wasn't appropriate.
Well, he basically wrote some things in the Washington Post, which is a major international newspaper.
Yeah.
From this country.
And it was critical stuff too. It wasn't
critical stuff on Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
And the royal family. So, basically, he got his mouth shut.
Yeah, that's the moral of it. And I'm not going to say that it's okay to go out and kill someone because it's not. But if you're going to go and do so, you're talking about the prince here, and the prince has got all kinds of power, globally. The prince has got power. I mean, I don't know. It's a really messed up situation. Obviously, I don't agree that the guy should have been killed, but there's nothing we can do about it.
The thing is, if the United States does anything about this, such as sanctions or whatever, oil prices will go through the roof.
Yep, it's going to hurt us.
It will be awful.
So, in the beginning, when I first looked at the story, I had these negative thoughts going through my mind about Trump and all this. But now that Buck has said what he said, it adds up. What would that do to us here? It would cause a lot of problems. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're in the position to have to deal with any more big issues, and that would be a very big issue.
Oh, yes.
It would be a very big issue, and they made it clear that they would retaliate, and it wouldn't be good. Not financially, or even, I believe that there'd even be other...
It would basically be a financial burden on the United States due to oil price increase.
And it would destroy our relationship that we are trying to keep, I guess.
Yes, keep in the Middle East so we can keep that oil supply pumping.
Yeah, and that's very important. Very important, I think. So, a lot of mixed feelings here. A lot of misunderstandings here. A lot of confusion with this whole scenario, this whole deal. We're asking you tonight, what is your opinion? What do you think about it? And last but least, let's talk about the few that said they were going to stop doing this and stop doing that. They don't have the power to stop it. Do they?
Stop doing what?
Who was the two guys saying that we were going to cut off, arm, what was the deals they were talking about? They were just going to cut them off, and we was going to stop doing it.
Oh, yeah, because they were buying some military
weapons
from the United States. Saudi Arabia was.
They might say that they're going to stop it, but, folks, if Trump said it's not going to stop, it's not going to stop. Again, I can understand the confusion with this and how frustrating it can make people. And I do understand, I don't agree with money buying anything. And I understand that part of it too. And I'm not really sitting here saying that it's right that this is the way we got to do it. Or saying, I'm not saying that, okay, it's, that's okay for us to do. But I believe it's the smart thing for us to do.
I agree.
Just because it's the smart thing, it doesn't make it always okay. But sometimes you got to make choices.
You also have to understand that this guy is the one that wrote these things down. He caused his own problem.
Yeah, yeah. He done it, and then when the hot water came down, people are saying, "Okay, United States, what are you going to do about this?" There's just not much. I don't think there's much we can do about it. And if we do, like Buck just said, if we do, you think gas prices are bad now? Let something happen, and you're going to be lucky to be able to afford to go to the grocery store and back. And sadly, I'm not even joking. Like, gas prices will go through the roof. Would they not?
They would definitely go up.
It wouldn't be $2 or $3. It'd probably be $4 or $5 a gallon. So, anyways.
At least 5.
Yeah. You guys tell us what you think. I will do my best to try to get some more input on exactly what all was said. Maybe I can find some reports out there of what was going on with this guy and the prince and you know, the stuff that he wrote. So, hope you guys enjoyed the story. It's, you know, it's not, let's not enjoy it because someone got killed, but as far as just trying to bring you some top news, I like to try to bring that to you whenever I can on the channel, just to bring something different. And right now, that is kind of there at the top. So, like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you think. What would you do if you was in the position to do something about it? Till next time, you guys like, share, subscribe, and me and Buck, we are out of here. See you later.